one. Thank you so very much for tuning in to Good Morning Grenada. How was the weekend? Trust it was a restful and peaceful one. Trust you did all you wanted to do, whether it was work or rest, whatever it was. Hopefully you enjoyed it and you did it to the best of your ability. Yes, you had to rest to the best of your ability. Trust you had a good weekend, everybody. Hope you had a good weekend. Prayed you had a good weekend and you're ready to get Monday morning up and running. Thank you to those of you joining us across the various platforms. The GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page, the Grenada Broadcasting Network YouTube channel, the website www.gbn.gd, GBN TV channel 7, 11 and 20. Those of you listening to Classic 105.5, 105.9, and all the folks joining us on Party Grenada and Go to Fet Facebook pages. It is an honor and a pleasure. To all our viewers and listeners across the Caribbean, whichever part of the region you are, a spicy Grenadian 473 morning to each and every one of you. And those of you joining us internationally, good morning, good afternoon, good night. Hope you will have a good day, are having a good day, have had a good day. Let's get right into it. We're not sticking this morning. It's time for this morning's word of the day. This morning's word of the day is gormless. Gormless. It's spelled G-O-R-M-L-E-S-S. Gormless. It's an adjective which means lacking in vitality or intelligence, stupid, dull, or clumsy. Gormless. The British adjective with the variant spellings G-A-U-M-L-E-S-S and G-A-W-M-L-E-S-S is probably a respelling of the word which comes via Northern English and the Scots. The noun gorm means heed or attention, and it also comes from Old Norse gorm, G-A-U-M-R, with the same meaning. Gormless, G-O-R-M-L-E-S-S, entered English in the mid-18th century. Word of the day this morning, gormless. G-O-R-M-L-E-S-S, an adjective which means lacking in vitality or intelligence, stupid, dull, or clumsy. An example of the use of the word: but Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood were both so gormless and so wrapped up in their own silly little lives that they failed to notice anything unusual about their daughter. Ain't that come from Matilda, the movie? Sorry. I get excited. One of my favorite movies, and Matilda. I know that line. Okay, back to the dance. Another example of the use of the word. Back came the Fombies and more gormless than ever. You remember the phone zombies? Maybe you call them Wexters, people who walk and text simultaneously, oblivious to traffic, or the old ladies they knock into bus shelters because they reply to you out 18er. The word of the day this morning. Gormless, G-O-R-M-L-E-S-S. It's an adjective which means lacking in vitality or intelligence, stupid, dull, or clumsy. Let me repeat the Matilda one. But Mr. and Mrs. Wormwood are so wrapped up in their own silly little lives that they fail to notice anything unusual about their daughter. Comes from Matilda, a classic movie. I wonder what the year that movie came out. Must really look for it and see what the year that movie came out. In the 80s, isn't it? Because she's up in her 40s by now. I'll double check. Okay, let me get back into the dance. So that's the word of the day, gormless, G-O-R-M-L-E-S-S, an adjective meaning lacking in vitality or intelligence, stupid, dull, or clumsy. And the thought for today, let's get into the thought. The thought for today is: one day you'll look back and realize that you worried too much about things that don't really matter. One day you'll look back and realize that you worried too much about things that don't really matter. That's one of the thoughts that don't need much explanation. I'm going to just leave it here, let you meditate and think about it. Somebody is stressing and worrying over something that won't matter 10 years from now, 5 years from now, maybe even tomorrow. Please the Lord. Relax. Relax, set up all yourself, stop stressing. One day you'll look back and realize that you worried too much about things that don't really matter. Thought of today for the rest of your life, not just for today, a matter of fact. Thought for the rest of your life. Let's see what's celebrated today. It is July 12th, 2021, and a few things are celebrated today. But the one that I would point out today, it is Simplicity Day. Simplicity Day. Simplicity Day. This day advocates a life of simplicity and recognizes the life of a transcendentalist, Henry Thoreau. He was known to be a tax resistor and lived his life as many things. However, he became famous after reflecting upon simple living in natural surroundings. He says it is best to live simply and it takes away the stress. Simplicity Day, I think that follows the thought of the day as well. Simplicity Day, just live simply, stop stressing, no need to fuss and make things harder for yourself. Just set up yourself, live simply. Seek a leisurely pace that doesn't include the accumulation of things. That's the easiest explanation of the day. Seek a leisurely pace that doesn't include the accumulation of things. That's what's celebrated today, Simplicity Day. So live simply. That's the bottom line, and life would be less stressful. All right, just before we go to the news, just an update on vaccination sites. Those of you who are still contemplating getting your vaccine jab, you still have an opportunity to do so. Vaccination program continues at most of all of the venues that we know, including the Kirani James Athletic Stadium, health centers, and the St. Augustine Medical Station. Today, Monday, vaccination is only available at health centers. And remember, you need to make an appointment at the health center if you want to get your vaccine jab there. Tomorrow, Tuesday, God willing, these vaccine shots will be given at the St. Augustine Medical Station, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m., as well as the health centers. Wednesday, God willing, they're at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium and health centers. Thursday, they're back at Sam's and health centers. And Friday back at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium and the health centers. So today, health centers, or I should say health centers for the entire week. You just need to make an appointment. Tuesday and Thursday, God willing, they're at the St. Augustine Medical Station from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Wednesday and Friday, they're at the Kirani James Athletic Stadium from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. So that's for the people who are thinking about getting your vaccination jabs, or those of you who need to get your second jabs. Remember to walk with valid ID, including your driver's license, NIS card, or your passport for quick registration. People returning with their second dose are reminded to walk with their COVID-19 vaccination card so that the card can be officially updated. All right, now let's get ready for the morning edition of news for those of you on radio and those of you on our visual platforms. We bring you highlights, or we bring you week in review. This is Good Morning Grenada on another marvelous Monday. Stick and stay. We will be right back in a short.
A freak accident just after 6:30 on Wednesday claimed the life of a 21-year-old of Duquesne, St. Mark.
A family pulling together at a time of grief to comfort each other. One mother mourns the loss of her son, who tragically lost his life in a freak accident last evening. 21-year-old Shondi Moraine of Duquesne, St. Mark's, was riding a scooter heading in the direction of St. John when he collided with a construction truck heading in the opposite direction. According to reports, both vehicles met on a corner, and it's believed that this contributed to the unfortunate occurrence. A grieving mother, Natasha Warren, is hoping that someone will reach out to her to help her overcome this shock.
My boyfriend called me from Victoria and we were speaking, and then he say, not an accident I see in there, and they say he's a bike man. Tasha, where's Shandy? I say, I just see Shandy pass down with a bike. So he say, hold on, I'm going to call you back. So he cut off, and then my neighbor come down and tell me, Tasha, sad news. And that was it. I start to bawl, fall down in the road. My pressure go up. My younger daughter was trying to hold me, but you know how it is when you lost a son in that tragedy.
Shondi was the second of 5 children, but her first son. She recalls the last time she saw him and his words to her.
The time I see him is maybe about 3 o'clock yesterday evening. Before he go yesterday morning, he take a gas tank to get gas for the bike because the bike was down for gas for maybe about 2 weeks. So he came, he gave me $150. He said, "Mommy, pay the water bill." And when he come back, I said, "Give your mother $20. She want to borrow her A's," and he did give me the $20. And that was the last time I see him. That's about 3 o'clock yesterday evening. This time me and him have a little quarrel. He will never answer me. He will just walk out and go. I will miss him a lot. I love my son, and I will surely miss him.
His sister, still emotional over her brother's tragedy, says it is difficult for her to come to terms with last night's tragedy.
That was most of it, and after I get a vehicle and I came up on the scene, and when I reached on the scene, the only thing I saw his foot under the choke. And I started to bawl, and that was all. Even though, despite what we had, he was a loving brother, and I love him a lot, and I will miss him a lot.
Shondi's aunt described him as a calm individual who will be sorely missed. 3 months ago, a construction truck overturned at Egmont Point. A week later, another in the fleet flipped over at Calavini. And last night, tragedy struck. There was no loss of life in the 2 previous accidents. Christina John, GBN News.
Frustration boiled over outside the Grenville Magistrates Court on Monday. The situation came to a head over alleged acts of sexual assault against a minor. For that story, we crossed to GBN's Rena Pierre Thomas.
A family is heartbroken after seeing a man that was charged by police for allegedly sexually assaulting a 14-year-old family relative on multiple occasions walk out of the courtroom on bail Monday morning. They are outraged at the fact that the man who allegedly sexually assaulted and threatened the young woman is now walking the streets fairly. Although she gave an on-camera interview, we are shielding her identity.
What your child is to that? She no body, she no flesh. You understand what I'm saying? And you, to be a father figure of the child, what you're doing to her. So who could trust anybody in the home with the children right now? We do this thing now, right now you're on bail. You come in court yesterday, you walk in free, walk out free. What are you doing to the children? To help them. What's about the name, the stain? You to live with that forever? Or maybe someone will take their life when they realize, oh, look what mistake that did to me. I'm ashamed to walk the road with my head up.
The story has grasped the attention of the public on social media platforms as an altercation between family members and the accused went viral on Monday. Members of the girl's family protested in front of the Grenville Magistrate Court on Monday. They were advocating that he be remanded to Her Majesty's prison in the interest of the safety of the 14-year-old, who has allegedly been threatened by the accused man.
She couldn't tell because he threatened to kill her, and he out right now. They give him 100 feet from the house, but not from the community. He's still in the community because he's doing farming in the community. So what could happen when in night time he can still bust up window and do what he have to do because he named right now on Facebook, on social media, on Messenger, whatever everything you see in his face. So you want to do, maybe you want right now, you want to protect himself. So what the child life at stake? You threatened to kill her if she talk. She did speak. So she should be roaming the streets.
This story came to light just as Grenada recognized National Colors Day against domestic violence and child sexual abuse on Tuesday, 6th July 2021. For GBN News, I am Rena Pierre Thomas reporting.
There's a grave warning from Grenada's health minister. He says that whether we acknowledge it or not, some Grenadians will die from COVID-19. Health Minister Nicholas Steele gave what he felt was a reality to be faced during the sitting of the House of Representatives on Wednesday morning. Gerard Joseph followed this story.
It is only a matter of time, says Health Minister Nicholas Steele, before the COVID-19 virus and its variants will again reach Grenada's shores. Noting the recordings of variants in the neighboring Caribbean countries, Steele is admonishing citizens against the prevailing wait-and-see attitude or waiting for a specific vaccine.
Despite all the efforts of this government, individuals in Grenada will die from COVID-19. And COVID-19 will have its day in Grenada again.
He impresses that Grenada is not special from any other nation in the world, and that nations which have achieved an acceptable level of vaccination are the only ones who can move forward.
We have insisted that all quarantine establishments have 100% vaccination. I also want to recognize recent statements that have been made public by Grenada Cooperative Bank that have also said that they are going to place a deadline for all of their employees to be 100% vaccinated.
Still implored on his fellow parliamentarians to publicly take a stance.
I do believe we have an obligation to let the public know which side of the fence we stand.
GBN obtained a copy of a letter whereby government has served Sanders a notice to comply within 10 days of July 6th to ensure the entire staff receives the first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
A boat captain and his crew have found themselves with a hefty bail that they are required to post, more than $100,000, while they await their day in court. The 10 have been charged in connection with the discovery of what police believe to be a quantity of cocaine discovered aboard a vessel docked at the Carnage. We get more in this GBN's Chrislina John report.
According to a police report, officers attached to the Criminal Investigation Department acting on a tip-off mounted an operation in pursuit of a gun, which led to the discovery of a quantity of drugs. This led to the arrest of Miguel Peters, 23-year-old sailor of Diego Martin, Trinidad, Melvin Phillip, 27-year captain of Calivini St. George, Shane Mitchell, 27-year sailor of Paradise St. Andrew, and Maverick Kojo, 26-year-old deckhand of Harveyville Carriacou, for trafficking of a controlled drug and possession of a controlled drug. These men made their first court appearance on Wednesday, July 7th. Superintendent Vanny Kerwin spoke to the media following their court appearance.
3 of whom have just left the court. A 4th one who should have been here is currently hospitalized, and the 5th one will be charged during the course of the day. These individuals are charged for trafficking of a controlled drug and possession of a controlled drug. The magistrate has just granted bail to them. There are 2 separate quantities of substances we are speaking of here. One quantity is 26.5 pounds, and those persons who were charged for that quantity, their bail was set at $200,000 with 2 sureties. They were to surrender all of the travel documents and to report to the nearest police station. They will report to that police station every Monday and Friday between the hours of 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. They are also not permitted to leave the state without permission from the court.
The confiscated illegal drugs comprise of 14 kilos of what appears to be cocaine. The supposed drug carry an estimated street value of $1,699,400. One additional man is in police custody assisting with investigations, and charges are likely to be preferred against him.
A set of individuals who were charged for 14.37 pounds of what appears to be cocaine. Their bail conditions are the same except for the fact that the quantity, in terms of the monetary quantity, is $100,000 instead of the $200,000. So they too will be expected to report to the nearest police station between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. They are to surrender all of the travel documents as the other set, and they are not permitted to leave the state without the permission from the magistrate.
They were all represented by Counsel Francis Paul. The matter was adjourned to January 17th, 2022. Chrislina John, GBN News.
For Grenadians who were looking forward to having a 2-day bank holiday in August, it may not be business as usual. We get more in this report.
For the second consecutive year, Parliament has passed a bill that will cancel the August Carnival Monday and Tuesday bank holidays. The bill, titled COVID-19 Cancellation of Carnival August Celebrations Act 2021, was introduced by Parliamentary Representative for Kareku and Piti Martinique, Honourable Kindra Maturin-Stewart.
We have a serious threat to our public health, to our public safety, and we as a government are quite cognizant that the well-being and welfare of our citizens must always come first. And hence, Mr. Speaker, we have taken this bold decision yet again to cancel Carnival 2021.
Quoting the Bank Act, Mathurin-Stewart said the observance of the bank holidays will encourage Grenadians to have carnival celebrations and possibly place the health and the lives of the population at risk.
Since we're not having a Carnival 2021, it is my view reasonable and justifiable to also vacate that bank holiday. Mr. Speaker, I believe that if we were to say cancel Carnival and still have the bank holidays, what we'll find happening is in fact what we don't want to happen, which is Carnival celebrations. And we have seen it, Mr. Speaker. And so we have to ensure that as far as possible, we continue to protect our country and our people.
However, opposition leader Tobias Clement, while in full support of the cancellation of Carnival, warned that there should be no special privileges and that the rules should apply for all events, including the Kareku Regatta.
Remember what happened last year, Mr. Speaker? When maybe some people were given certain privileges to have certain shows and so forth, and then you had a breakdown. I did not hear anything about the cancellation of regatta celebration in Kareku. Are we going to have that? So how is it that maybe you might have regatta in Kareku and not have Carnival in Grenada? These are questions that will be asked, because I remember again last year the debacle there, where some people, what protocol was not followed, and who give permission for this and who give permission for that. Is the same thing going to happen? I hope not.
The bill will have to be approved by the Senate, then go through the final process by the Office of the Governor-General before it goes into effect. The Emancipation Day holiday, traditionally held on the first Monday in August, will still be observed.
Grenadians have had a range of responses to the government's plan to take a bill through the first stages in Parliament on Wednesday, which may lead to the cancellation of the Carnival Monday and Tuesday bank holidays. The latest has come in the form of an online petition. Trelana Charles has the details.
The announcement of government's plan to table a bill in Parliament on Wednesday that may lead to the cancellation of the bank holidays annually dedicated to Carnival Monday and Tuesday celebrations has prompted responses from Grenadians on island and in the diaspora. One Grenadian, Nisha Peters, has taken steps past the simple utterance of her disapproval of the government's actions to create an online petition asking Grenadians to condemn and resist the cancellation of the bank holidays. She told GBN why she felt it was necessary to create the petition.
Our bank holidays is something important to us. I believe that that is our, how should I say, our heritage, something that is a natural culture. It's just not about Carnival celebrations. Yes, we understand that we cannot have Carnival celebrations. We understand that. We understood that last year, and we're still trying to understand it this year. But however, to remove the bank holidays, cancel it, as you say, cancel it, what good is that for? Who does that benefit?
In a statement written by Peters on the petition, she said, and I quote, "How unfair can this be? The Carnival celebrations are already taken away. Why further deprive us of the holidays that once was the backbone of our economy? Carnival to us is not just about the street jams and the pretty mass bands. It is also a time for family, friendships and pageantry. It is also a homecoming for Grenadians from all over the world."
Not everybody that celebrates Carnival. And some people just take this time out to spend time with their family who knows, to go out somewhere with their kids and their mother, their in-laws. Grenadians, this is something that they look forward to. Okay, coming home, at least listen to us, hear us out. Don't just decide you go in Parliament and you're going to pass this bill because you see it fitting in your plan. What our plan?
According to Peters, she believes the bank holidays can be kept as a reward to the Grenadian public for their cooperation during the COVID-19 period. She urged young Grenadians to come forward and sign the petition.
I'm sad to see that we're a bunch of talkers and we don't act. That is how we are as Grenadians. We talk, and we don't act. So here, there it is, people. There's a petition outside there to be signed. If you don't want the government to remove the bank holidays, sign the petition. Let's get the numbers up to 5,000 or more and let them see that the people are saying no to this. So let's not do it. Sign the petition. Sign the petition. That's all I can say. Sign the petition.
Trelawna Charles, GBN News.
2 government ministers took the leader of the opposition, Tobias Clement, to task for some of his comments made while the COVID-19 cancellation of Carnival Celebrations Bill 2021 was being tabled in the House of Representatives on Wednesday. Despite supporting the bill, the opposition leader seemingly faced ridicule from 2 senior ministers after expressing his concerns that all carnival-like activities should be cancelled. Gerard Joseph has the story.
Are we having carnival or not? Are some privileged persons allowed to have carnival-like activities during the period similar to that of 2020? Those were some of the concerns the leader of the opposition, Tobias Clement, brought forward as the COVID-19 cancellation of Carnival Celebrations Bill was debated.
Is there some form of hypocrisy in what was just presented? So am I to ask the question, so we don't have no carnival in Grenada, which is good, but are we going to have regatta in Carriacou?
Responding to Nicholas Steele's request to make their stance known, Clement presented his vaccination card to his fellow colleagues.
Because at the beginning, I for one said, if the trial vaccine were brought to Grenada and they wanted me to participate in the trial, I would have done it.
However, the opposition leader impressed that Grenada must not become complacent despite the vaccination efforts.
Mr. Speaker, we too have to look at the Delta variant. So whether you're vaccinated or not, it will help some, but that may not prevent. So I would admonish that we continue to follow the protocol in all sectors, especially when it comes to gathering and celebrations and large gatherings.
Clement's remarks were met with apparent disdain from Health Minister Nicholas Steele.
If we are in support of vaccines, then when we make statements about vaccines, we make statements in the affirmative.
Prime Minister Dr. Keith Mitchell also took jabs at the opposition leader.
We had a leader of the opposition, yes? I don't hear his voice. When they're marching in the street and drum being beaten outside there, and people are behaving as if we have an old mass carnival, where was the leader of the opposition?
The opposition leader was ironically lauded as the Christ for the protection of the people.
I ask, when you see something is wrong, wrong is wrong, no matter where it is. Speak on it.
Presenter of the bill, Kindra Mathurin Stewart, highlighted as she closed remarks that Cabinet had already decided all national and public festivals be cancelled. I am Gerard Joseph for GBN News.
The National Democratic Congress, through its public relations officer, expressed concern about documents sitting at the Deeds and Land Registry. They want government to intervene sooner rather than later to salvage some of its contents.
The National Democratic Congress is questioning what has happened to the process of digitization of records that started during their term in office. Concerns were raised about the present state of documents stored at the Deeds and Lands Registry. According to PRO of the NDC, Claudette Joseph, documents at the Deeds and Land Registry are in a deplorable state and urgent intervention is needed in order to salvage its contents.
During the NDC's term in office, the NDC embarked on the digitization putting it into computer form and so digital form, all of the archives at the Deeds and Land Registry. That was a project that was well on the way with the assistance of funding from the World Bank. That is a crucial project that must continue. When the NDC lost the election, by 2014, it was discontinued, it was stopped and never resumed.
The records, she added, are of sentimental value that can affect the way business is done in Grenada. She hopes that government can soon intervene.
And as it stands now, the records at the Deeds and Land Registry are in such a bad way that some of them are lost forever, cannot be replaced. The records at the Deeds and Land Registry serve several purposes. That's the only place we have an archive, a historic archive going back about 300 or 400 years of all land transactions in Grenada.
Minister for Legal Affairs, Kindra Mathurin-Stewart, in response, says they are aware of the need to preserve these records, which are aged, and are doing all they can with the resources available.
There is an ongoing project for digitization of government records. This project is called the DG4R project, and the digitization of these records at the Deeds and Land Registry as well as the probate registry are included under this project. I can tell you thus far that a secure place has been identified as a digitization center to conduct the scanning. Equipment has been procured and the contract will be executed very soon with a service provider.
Legal Affairs Minister added that a process of verification must first be completed before the process continues.
For the Deeds and Land Registry, a large quantity of records were already scanned in. A process now of verification of the database now has to take place before we continue with that process, because gaps were initially identified in that said database.
Priscilla John, GBN News.
The decline in airline arrivals due to COVID-19 is hitting local exporters where it hurts. The lack of freight for export is taking a toll on their pockets. Agricultural sector representative in the Senate, Roderick St. Clair, says as recently as this past weekend, 2 exporters sustained losses while seeking to export soursop and callaloo. Gerald Joseph reports.
A lack of freight continues to be a major stumbling block for exporters who, according to Senator Roderick St. Clair, have encountered challenges with the airlines. For different technical issues as reported, they were unable to come, then they would come, and then the flight change, and so almost 4 days. So by the time they really arrive, you literally have to buy new produce all over again if you have money to ship. The senator says the reduction in flights for American Airlines and Amerijet, plus the size of the planes, are hindering factors which have cost the exporters significantly. Senator St. Clair says the fisheries sector has also lost a considerable amount of money despite the ability to freeze the fish caught for export.
We've been speaking to one of the local agents here who we are exploring the opportunity of a charter. Of course, it would come at a higher price, but at least we might find a tripartite way to address this so that at least farmers could be able to sell the product, exporters could export, and the country could bring in monies.
He notes that hundreds of Grenadians are directly involved in the export process, and an estimated $600,000 per week are circulated to farmers, fishers, and export employees. Minister for Agriculture Yolambine Hosford tells GBN that they have been meeting with the different stakeholders, such as the ELIF Committee, in a bid to resolve the issue. I am Gerald Joseph for GBN News.
Grenada and the rest of the world woke up to shocking news on Wednesday morning that Haiti's president was assassinated and his wife was left badly injured in the attack. A minute of silence was observed in Parliament in solidarity with the Haitian people. GBN's Chrislina John has that story.
Parliamentary representatives as well as Speaker of the House stood in silence for the assassination of the Haitian President Jovenel Moïse. Moïse was killed in an attack on his private residence early Wednesday, according to Haiti's interim Prime Minister. First Lady Martine Moïse was shot in the overnight attack and hospitalized. Prime Minister Keith Mitchell says on Tuesday during the CARICOM Heads of Government meeting, the situation in Haiti was one of the topics discussed.
To mention that only yesterday we were in fact looking at the situation in Haiti and was in fact indirectly in contact with the president through his foreign minister and of course some members of our team, heads, and to find out this morning that he was literally, well, you have to say executed at his home, and his wife was also shot, was hospitalized, and just before I came, that word came that in fact that she also died.
Prime Minister Mitchell notes that the region must be concerned with the developments in Haiti, which is a member of CARICOM.
The general feeling is that Haiti appears to be almost literally a failed state. And you don't want any further evidence of this when some group or person could walk into the home of the leader of the country with no evidence of execution of the guards protecting him, but to get into his private quarters and execute both himself and his wife.
The assassination of Haitian President Jovenel Moïse drew shock and condemnation from leaders in Latin America, Europe and elsewhere on Wednesday, along with calls for calm and unity in the troubled Caribbean nation. Chrislina John, GBN News.
Imagine having the home of your dreams. Imagine investing in that piece of property you can call your own. Imagine finally doing that home improvement project you've always been thinking about. It's time to stop imagining and start doing. Let the GUT Credit Union help you take the first step with fantastic rates, affordable repayments, and reduced legal fees. Make the move. Get better terms on your mortgage. Use your home equity to make those dreams a reality. Act now. There's really no place like home. GUT Credit Union. It's where you belong.
Customer services, bill payment, revenue collections. We are open. NOASA's Lucas Street headquarters.
Come, we are excited to serve you.
NOASA, committed to meeting customers' needs.
Introducing Color by Sissons. 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 Color by Sissons.
Bruv. Hello? I can't see you. What's good? But I can't even hear you. Yo. Hello? Hello? Ah.
Okay, I see you. I'm good. I'm coming in.
Ah. There you are.
Live the experience right now. Enjoy high-quality video calling today. Stream, upload, and share with Digicel super fast LTE network. Visit our stores today and live the experience today. Digicel.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
How did you get your electricity bill to be so low? For one, we size our transformers just for what we need, and we unplug transformers, chargers, and other devices when they're not in use. We also replaced our light bulbs with LED. I even replaced the seal on my refrigerator door to keep the cold air in. How do you know if it is working? We pay attention to the usage history table. Over time, our average usage has decreased.
Renelec, energizing our Grenada.
State-of-the-art Ultratech gasoline and diesel, available only at Rubis stations.
Yo, Carlos, we're going up in number 1. Start up the boogie, boogie, boogie. Rev up the boogie, boogie, boogie. Yo, I'm blind, tell them this. From yet, we're revving up, we engine. About to hit the stretch.
Anytime you hear that tune means we're heading on up to the Sister Islands, and this morning that's exactly where we're going. Good morning, Caracou PT Martinique. Happy to have you joining us. Those of you who are just joining us, thank you for tuning in. Those of you who stuck with us, thanks for your patience. Let's get into it. Joining me virtually this morning is band leader of the Caracou Culture Train String Band Group, and he's also the facilitator of an interesting training that is starting today on the Sister Isle of Caracou. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming to the platform this morning Anderson Matheson, aka Leftist. Morning, Leftist. How you do, sir?
Good morning, Blossom, and all the listeners of GBN. Good morning.
Happy.
I'm good.
Your days fighting the good fight?
Yes, man.
All right. This morning, Leftist, we're talking about a training that the Culture Train is putting on starting this morning, and I think it runs until the 30th?
30th of July.
Okay, the 30th of July. So tell us about the string band training that you have starting.
Well, in 2019, we decided to do a training to teach the youngsters string music, guitar, banjo, quattro, and all the percussion instruments, drums, shak, triangles, and everything. And it came about because in 2018, when we formed the Culture Train String Band Group, we realized that there were not much young persons involved in the string music. most of the person involved was probably middle-aged young adults. So we wanted to get the kids involved. But we know from our Christmas serenading that there's an interest with the kids because they're always with the band, following the band around. So we decided let's do some training to get them involved, more involved in that they can actually play an instrument. And that's how it started. So we started in 2019, but we know 2020 didn't happen in this part of the world. So like I said, I don't count 2020. That year never happened.
I agree. So, I don't blame me at all.
So we were not able to do anything in 2020, but this year, as we're getting better, getting after the pandemic, we decided let's try it again because the kids are there. They're on vacation now from school and they want something interesting to do. So we decided to once again have the string band training this year, starting today, Monday the 12th, and going on to the 30th with a grand finale, 30th of July.
So how beneficial has this training been for getting the youngsters interested and getting them involved in this tradition?
Well, it's interesting that a lot of the youngsters, some of the youngsters are actually could play along with the band. So for example, when we go out and play sometimes we're missing a drummer or a man playing percussion or a banjo or a guitar, and these youngsters are around, we are always pulling them out to help. They may not be as perfect and may be able to play for as long as we are accustomed to, but they can hold it for 5 minutes or 2 songs. And as they continue practicing and playing, they'll get better, and soon they'll be able to play a full set with the band or with other groups that they may be involved in. So it is beneficial that they are learning on the job. They are basically getting apprentice training while they're learning the instruments.
So being one of the facilitators, what are some of the things that you have taught in past trainings, and what are some of the things you would highlight for these children as you start this morning and getting them into what the tradition is all about, the string band tradition is all about?
Well, some of the basic things. For example, knowing the instrument, basically the guitar, different parts of the guitar. So if I tell them hold the head of the guitar, they'll know what I'm talking about. Where's the body of the guitar on their leg? So they'll learn. So they'll learn first of all the basic body parts. Then they'll learn the different numbers for the finger. But each finger, when they play an instrument, has a number. You know, so when I say number 1 finger, so you know exactly which finger. And then we teach them the basics of the strings. But we start with the guitar. Everybody learns guitar. And one of the interesting part of the training that we try to teach everybody all the instruments. A little bit of know everything, so you can specialize as you go on, but you know all the instruments. So you go learn to play guitar, banjo, quattro, drum, iron, shak, scratcher. You learn a little of everything. And then you decide, okay, I like the drum, so I'll stick on the drum, or I like the guitar, I'll stick with the guitar. But you're able to play a bit of everything. So that's the interesting part of the thing. And the kids from past experience, they love it.
So in 2019, with just over, I think it was 35, if my information serves me right, 35 children you had in 2019. How much are you expecting in 2021?
Well, because we are still within the pandemic and the regulation, we're looking at 20 kids. But one of the things we have said is that we wouldn't turn back anybody. If kids are interested and the parents allow them to come to the training, we wouldn't turn back. But we're looking at 20. But, you know, once we start and a few kids might hear, oh, the training is going on, we might get some more. So we started with 20. So we don't know how much it's going to grow. because we really don't want to turn back kids. But the good thing is we can accommodate probably more because the venue we have at the Bella Heritage Village is an open space. We have, beside the stage area, we have trees around the whole area we can use to go and teach music. So if we get more kids, we have sufficient space to spread out and be within the protocol.
What has the response been like from people who are actually into string band music, the people who learned it from since they were young and now they're getting older, they may not be able to be in it as much as they would like to? What has their response been to this training?
Well, they are very supportive. As a matter of fact, that was one of the reasons that we got into it, to start the training, because myself and basically the same boy, we're not old, but in the next 10, 15 years, we might be in the position where we might be able to go out as much as we would like to. So it would be nice to have these youngsters learn the music so that they can come visit us and we can sit down and relax and play along with them. So, and that is the sentiment we're getting from the older players out there. They're happy to see that the training is taking place and the youngsters are getting involved so that in their twilight days, they can sit down home and we can visit them and play the music and they can reminisce on the good time they had and they might probably pull a string with us, as we say in Carriacou. And I really have a good time doing it, you know. So the response from the public has been very good.
Speak to me about the importance of keeping this tradition alive, because Carriacou is one of the most, the most traditional part of the Tri-Island. And something like the string band, how important is it that we actually keep that tradition going and get our youngsters from as early age as possible to get them involved?
Well, it's very important in that because it's part of our culture. Everything we do in Carriacou, music and our tradition is involved. You're married in, you have the string band joining up. You're having a christening, the string band could be there. You're having a Saraka, string band could be there. You're having Maroon. So everything is part of our culture. And the good thing about the string band is it's a mixture of both the European and the African cultures. You know, it's a mixture of both cultures. So it's very unique in that aspect, in that the drums, the percussion part of the thing comes from Africa, and the strings part, most of it comes from Europeans. So we have that unique blend. So we have to keep it, and while we're keeping it, teaching our children our history, so they understand that we're not just, we're African descent, but there's a mix, there's a culture that's mixed in that the string band music is part of that mix, in that it brings in both the European and the African culture, so that we can teach our kids and they can see the importance of having to pass on. Because if we are not doing this training in 10, 15, probably 20 years when we're no longer here, the music would not be, because no young ones would have learned it to keep it going and then to pass it on. Because we learned it from the older folks in the village and around Carriacou. And just as how we learned it, we're now passing it on to the younger folks so that they can take it and carry it. We don't expect everyone to get to take it up. But if 2 or 3 takes started, then we can see others coming along and getting involved.
Like you mentioned earlier, a string band is made up of various instruments. Which one has the youngsters gravitated toward more, and why you think that is?
Well, they like the banjo, because in string music, the banjo is probably the most important instrument. It's what sells, it's the loudest, and it really helps the music. So they like the banjo, but we're starting them off with the guitar, because once you can play guitar, the banjo is a lot easier, because basically it's three strings, and the chords are simpler to form. So the basic idea is to get the kids learning the guitar, learning to form the chords, and once they can form the chords on the guitar, then they can form it on the banjo and the percussion. But I love the banjo because the banjo is loud, it's smaller, it's more unique, and that song is really. And then with kids now, they say 3 strings, so then 3 strings is easy. Because one of the chords, the D chord, is you open 3 strings, you just plug the strings. You have to press no fingers on the strings. So it's easier for them. Some of them is 1 finger, 2 fingers. So it's a lot easier. So they like that. But we started everybody off with guitar, and then once you get the guitar, as a master guitar, you can branch off. Because we teach them the basics of all the instruments.
I really thought you were going to tell me the drum is the favorite, you know. I don't know why that's what I had in my mind.
There's a few of the boys in particular that love the drums.
Right.
A few of the boys, but the majority they like the banjo. The banjo, that song resonates with them, because as a kid, as a child growing up, that was when you hear the band coming from a distance, the first thing you hear is the banjo. The first thing you hear is the banjo coming. So when you hear that banjo strumming coming up, you know, well, yes, band coming, so you get ready to go and join the band.
And is there an instrument that is maybe the least favorite among them that you're hoping, you know, more of the children would gravitate to?
Well, they're not so much into the shack. It's part of the percussion, but it's part of our culture. But we're getting them there, because the thing is, if you want to be part of the band and you can, there might be, sometimes you have 1 guitar and we have a 4 guitar player. We want to play. So if you can't play guitar, you have to play shack, you have to play a drum, you have to play something else. So that's how we teach them all the instruments. So to be inclusive, Okay, it might be two guitar available, but you have 4 guitar players. So for the first few songs, these 2 persons will play, and then you'll switch up. So that's how we do it. So everybody shack there, because it's an instrument that goes with the others. You know, it's not something you can play on its own. It goes with the others. So once you get the others involved, and the drum is going, the iron is going, the scratchers is going, and the shack comes in to blend and enhance the percussion. So it's something that there's so many kids not so into it, but when I see the importance and I hear the importance of it, because if you're a good shack player, it really reaches out. You hear the difference if your band is playing and the shack stop, you'll hear something is missing. And when you come back on, you realize, oh, the shack that wasn't playing. So then they see the importance of having all this percussion to help enrich the song.
But I like the shack. I find shack gives you more freedom to gallivant. Just a little shack and you run left and right with the drum head. Well, maybe me that weird. I don't know.
No. Shack is a unique instrument. You know, it's something you gravitate towards as you understand the music more. You see the importance and gravity towards, and basically enjoy playing any of the instruments.
Right. Besides yourself and Basie, who else is involved in terms of teaching the young ones the various instruments and how to play them?
Well, myself and Basie are the main facilitators, but as different instruments. For example, when we're doing banjo, the banjo man in the band who we call Moseman, we will bring him in for a day or two to show them some little tricks, because he has some tricks up his sleeve that only he knows. I mean, honestly, you'll be playing alongside him and you see doing all kinds of things with the fingers, and doing much, but the fancy way he does it. So we'll bring him in. Some of them, when we're doing the iron, we might bring in our Iron Man Blacker. Doing the drum, we might bring in our drummer, and different aspects of the things. So although myself and Basie is doing all the instruments, but on a specific day, we might bring in one of the instrument-specific player to really show them how it's done at the higher level.
Somebody on Facebook is inquiring if Leo Joseph, who is one of the pioneers in Caracou Band, have you reached out to him in terms of assisting?
Well, Leo is always on board with the culture training, whatever we're doing. So although it's not specific for this training, but whatever the culture training, and we go to him for assistance, we get that. So, but he's one of the persons there who actually encourage us and give us little ideas of what to do and how to do it. And himself and Anselm James are two of the many characters who when it comes to the string music, we could really tap into for the expertise and the knowledge.
And tell me more about the culture trained string band. I know you have been around for a while, and just over the weekend I saw you participating in the cultural festival, the Spice Isle Cultural Festival. Tell me more of some of the things that the band has been able to participate in, and your expectations for the string band.
Well, when we started in 2018, we started to get back the vibe for the Parang Festival, because that's where you really see the explosion of the string music, because at the time it was on a low. So we started doing the Parang train, going from villages to village shop, and really doing a whole evening of Parang music. And with that, when we finished that, we decided we can't just end it. So the group was actually launched in 2019. And from there, we've been playing in all kinds of functions. In same 2019, we were invited to be part of the Grenada delegation to Carifesta in Trinidad, where we perform in various events throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad. We didn't go to Tobago, although other groups went to Tobago. Our group didn't go to Tobago. And when we came back, we continued doing the visits to the homes. We actually did, in 2019, we actually visited the mainland Grenada and did a weekend of the culture train, Parang train in Grenada. And on the Saturday, we visited most of the homes in Grenada, the elderly home, the children home. We did the Bacolette Center, Juvenile Center. We did both homes in Tempe, Dorothy Hopkins and the, what's the other one? But the next one in Tempe. We did the home in Guave, the home in Victoria, a home in St. Andrews. I really went around just to bring that vibe, that Christmas spirit to the folks in these homes. Because you know, when you're confined to a home, you cannot go out as you want, you cannot see some of what is happening out there. And we continued that. We started it in 2020, but then Mr. COVID raised his head again, so we had to abandon it after about 3 stops we had made, because we were trying to do it virtually, actually going to a home. What we did in 2020 when we started was to go to homes instead, because of the pandemic and the restrictions and the protocols. We didn't want to go by a bar. So we targeted specific homes. I went to these homes and we were streaming the performance virtually. But then when things got, what happened with the Sandals, the debacle and the things, and so everything was just shut off. So we had to consider that. And since then, we started back playing again, little gigs here and there, little functions here and there. We started, but we always been in training, continue playing music. When we meet somebody's birthday, we make a thing, they have a little function, we're going to make a jam. And so we've started, and right now, with the protocols and the people have been vaccinated, and the world is getting a little ease from the COVID, so we're exploring opportunities, because 2020 would have been a year for us. We were supposed to go to New York for the Grenada Day celebrations, and then the people in Canada wanted us to come across, Miami wanted us to come across. So now we're hoping that once the thing opens back up, this opportunity will still be there for us as a group and for other groups involved in sustaining the culture of these islands, Grenada, Carriacou, and Martinique.
And with the training that starts today, it goes until the end of the month. In 2 weeks, what are you hoping the participants, the young children, will take away from this training, and how they'll be able to, and how, as a matter of fact, would you be able to foster their talent past the 30th? What happens after the training is complete as well?
Well, what we're hoping is that they would learn sufficient of the basics, so that they can actually do a performance. We're trying for, our aim is at the end of the class on the 30th, in the closing, we're going to have an actual performance from some of the youngsters by themselves. Then we'll have them perform alongside the group members, and then the group of the portraiture will actually perform. So the idea is to have them and let them see and hear the beauty of the string music in all its form, in its raw form with the beginners, then them playing along with us to really get that grasp, and then hearing us as a group perform to really bring out the culture. And beyond that, what we're hoping, for example, if we have some kids, let's say we have some kids from Beauséjour that did the training, and we have a function in Beauséjour, we'll invite these kids to come along so that they can play alongside us while we're performing at that venue. And that's how we've been, to get them interested and get them learning the music. Like we say, it's an apprenticeship programming to a sense, so that as much as they're learning the music, they're learning it on the job. They're actually learning it playing in front of an audience. So by the time they're good enough, the idea of performing in front of an audience wouldn't be scary for them.
You don't happen to have your guitar near you, no?
No, I left the guitar with BC because we first training this morning.
For the training this morning, no problem, no problem.
I have one here, but the strings are not on. It's not on.
No problem. The idea just came to me, that's why. So the children from the past training, specifically the 2019 one, that's the most recent, are they able to help brothers and sisters, their schoolmates, maybe even teach them a thing or two? Do you think they have that capability after the training?
Some of them do. Some of them do have the ability to actually show the younger ones how to form the chords, how to hold the guitar. Some of them do have that capabilities. And as a matter of fact, as part of the training, some of the kids who probably would learn faster than others, we use them to help teach the ones that are not as learning as fast as them. Because see what happens with learning to play an instrument, it's easier to learn, and if you learn faster if you have an instrument at your disposal. So some of the kids who has an instrument will go home from after daily training and practice, and they'll get better quicker. So when they come to the training, they'll actually go and show one of the other ones who doesn't have an instrument at home how to go along and how to form certain chords to make sure that they get up to speed. So it's a learning process, and while you're teaching, you learn for yourself. So we use that also as part of our training so that the younger ones can teach those who not as fast.
A question on the Facebook. Somebody asking, Karakou is slowly approaching the regatta season. What are the plans for your group and other bands, seeing there will be no regatta and it is a time of music and celebration?
But there's a few gigs lined up for the group. They haven't been confirmed as yet, but we've been as a matter of fact, in recent times we've been to Petit Martinique within the last month on 2 occasions. And they're really liking us up, so they're looking to bring us back up sometime soon again, because they're really... Petit Martinique is even more unique in terms of the love for the string music, that when you go there, you'll see this wide cross-section from the young ones to the middle-aged to the older folks coming and enjoying the music and dancing it. So we're going to do some of that, probably go back to Petit Martinique. We have some functions on Karakou to perform, to do. So we just confirming those gigs as the training goes along, confirm those events and perform at that, because like you say, there is no formally planned regatta activity as such, but the music is gonna play, and they say we're gonna have some libations. Guys must wear the guns. And they might cook some food somewhere around, so there's opportunities to play music and continue enjoying the string music.
And any plans to take a training like that, whether it's to Petit Martinique or to the mainland?
Well, with COVID again, I kind of feel like damn COVID. In 2020, we started that training in the school, with the school in Petit Martinique. And after the 3rd week, because we were going up once a week to work with the kids up there. And after the third week, COVID came and they shut down schools, so that's up. So now we're starting back, we're gonna re-engage the school in Petit Martinique to see how we can restart that training, because it is important to pass the culture on to as many persons as possible. Because like I said, you don't know who's gonna take it and bring it to the next level. So the idea is to facilitate as much training as we can, and we want to do it in an interactive way, in that, yes, while you're learning, you're playing and you're enjoying what you're doing.
Right, and just remind us of the details for the training that starts this morning. Where, what time, how can the youngsters be a part of it?
So the training starts this morning, 9 a.m. at the Bel Air Heritage Park. And if you want to be part of the training, contact myself, BC, Rena, or any member of the culture train. Let us know your interest, and we can have the kids registered and be part of the program. There's a small registration fee of $20, and that $20 helps for transporting the kids to and from the venue and refreshment, because we have refreshment for the kids. But we have some sponsors on board, and we're very grateful for them. So if I can just name some of them, we have the Government of Grenada, to the Ministry of Karakou and Petit Martinique Affairs, and the Ministry of Culture. Both ministries have come on board to assist us. We have Grenada Distillers. They provide us with hand sanitizers for the kids. We have GUT Credit Union. They're helping us towards a sponsorship for transportation. We have some local businesses, Kim's Plaza, Ali's Dream, Alexis Food Stores, Hillsborough Secondary School, helping us with some furniture, Henrietta Bakery, and what am I missing out? We have some individuals also. Leslie and James, who is a fan of the band all the way in New York, and Louisa Primus also is in New York. They are sponsoring kids and refreshment. And a lot of persons have indicated they want to sponsor. So we say, don't be afraid. If contact any member of the band, you can do it through our Facebook group, or if you don't have contact for individual members, you can do that. And we'll accept all and any sponsorship, because the training involves quite a lot, because what we try to do to accommodate parents, we're going to have the kids drop at Hillsborough, and then we bus them from Hillsborough to the venue and back. And while they are there, we're going to provide them with refreshments. And now with the protocol, we have to have hand sanitizers. dishwashing, masks, and everything. So we have these things on board. Like I said, some sponsors had come on board. So we're working towards ensuring that while we're training, we're using a safe environment, observing the protocols that are in place to ensure that the kids are protected in case of any outbreak.
Good stuff, good stuff. Thank you so very much, Leftist Mr. Matheson. Appreciate it. Keep doing what you're doing with the string band. Give Basie all my best. And good luck for the training for the next 2 weeks.
Thanks, Blossom, for having us, for giving us the exposure to let the nation know what we're doing, and as a matter of fact, to the wider world, because I know this is going global. So, as we say, thanks for having us and giving us the exposure to let's showcase what we're doing as part of our culture.
Anytime. Enjoy the rest of your day, Leftist. I'm going to say Mr. Matheson. Nah, man, Leftist it is. Leftist it is. Have a good one.
Leftist.
Have a good one.
Thank you. You too, my dear.
All right. Band leader of the Carriacou Culture Trained String Band Group. They're having a 2-week training, a string band training for youngsters on the sister isle of Carriacou. It was a success when it was held in 2019, and I'm sure it'll be another success in 2021. We're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, we link up with Just School Media for this morning's Traffic Cam.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Thinking about your new home? Think easy. Think a Republic Bank Home Easy Loan. Think affordable. Think convenience. Think Republic.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3. Republic makes home easy.
Wow, that was such a breeze.
Own your home with ease.
So whether laying that first brick or purchasing an existing home, we've got you covered. Republic Bank will get you those keys hassle-free in no time.
Home is easy as 1, 2, 3.
Drop by any one of our 8 locations today. Getting your new home is easy with Republic Bank.
Republic Bank. We're the one for you.
Rubigas, clean, safe, and reliable LPG is the perfect solution for your commercial and everyday needs. For cooking at home or barbecuing, choose Rubigas LPG cylinders. Available in a variety of sizes from 20 to 100 pound cylinders. Rubigas LPG, clean, safe, reliable. Are you cooking with Rubigas?
Get Rubis, get going.
We now join Junior Checkley, Just School Media, for this morning's Traffic Cam. Let's see where Junior is taking us this morning.
Greenville Vale. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend and looking forward to a productive week. So you will have an extended traffic cam this morning because we are traveling all the way down to Greenville Vale. So don't go anywhere. So good morning again to all the listeners of GBN Network, whether TV or radio, on the viewers all over the world. Welcome to this Monday morning traffic cam. We are traveling through the village of Budgegrove, eventually to go through the Grenada rainforest, and we're seeing that there is not much traffic on this side of the island. Only 2 vehicles in front of me going into St. George's. So it's easy driving as we about to leave Budge Grove and enter into the Grenada rainforest in a couple of minutes. Just want to advise motorists, you're traveling over the hills, as we call it. Exercise caution because the road is wet. So no speeding, take your time to arrive safe and alive. Excuse me, sorry. So we just want to encourage you motorists, as you drive on the nation's road, most of the times you take the liberty when you're traveling out of St. George's to just dispose of your garbage out of your vehicle window. But we want you to please, let's keep our nations clean. Let's keep it clean for our future generation. No disposing of garbage out of a moving vehicle. As the police will say, no throwing of missiles. Soon we'll be approaching the junction to go to Adelphi Junction. Yes, so we are just passing the Adelphi Junction. You can pass there and go to the Adelphi Cemetery, or you can go to the Adelphi Sulphur Spring. So I noticed there's some vehicles behind me as we travel through Budge Grove, and soon we'll be approaching the Grenada rainforest. Hope everyone had a wonderful weekend. And also you gotta make sure as a driver that you have good tires, because when the road is wet, the traction it affects the traction of your tires, so you gotta make sure you got the good tires. As we now traveling through the Grenada rainforest. That there is no traffic, just a few, sorry, not no, but just a few coming into the Grenada rainforest. But we have some traffic to get out of the Grenada rainforest. And based on how the road is designed, it's very hard for you to overtake a vehicle over the Grenada, through the Grenada rainforest. So you just have to take your time. And motorists coming down, just as you are about to enter the rails, we see that there is a truck hold up on the road, so you got to be cautious. About 1,000 meters from the junction to go into Seven Sisters, there is a truck hold up right on the corner by the grey rails. So you gotta exercise caution when you, just as you're close to exiting the Grenada rainforest, right on that ridge there with the railing, there's a truck held up right there. So you gotta exercise caution, take your time if you're coming through the Grenada rainforest and heading into Budge Grove. Passing the junction to go to Seven Sisters or St. Margaret Falls. Yes, you can get the nice, cool rainforest breeze. this morning, fresh. So as I said earlier, traffic in the town of St. George cannot be compared to traffic anywhere else. It's just different, as we have noticed for the last couple of weeks. There's little or no traffic congestion in the parish of St. Andrews, even through St. David's. So most of the traffic congestion we are seeing is in St. George and around St. George's.
Thank you very much to Just Cool Media for Traffic Cam every Monday and Wednesday here on GBN, 6:45 a.m. Those of you who wish to continue the journey with Junior as he makes his way further down, you can always go on to the GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page. There is a stream directly onto the page outside of the Good Morning program. There's a stream on the page if you want to continue following the journey. Feel free to check him out there, and I believe he's also on his own Facebook page, Just Cool, I believe. But just to be safe, let me just say GBN Grenada Broadcasting Network's Facebook page and continue the journey onto St. George. At this point, we're gonna end the visual part of Good Morning Grenada. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Thank you once again to Mr. Matheson, aka Leftist, for being our virtual guest this morning. The string band training starts this morning, runs until the 30th on the sister isle of Carriacou, teaching the young ones the art of string band music and playing and band. Thank you so very much for tuning in. We now join the BBC for its 8 a.m. newscast. Have yourselves an enjoyable and productive Monday. Bye-bye.